This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons like Chris, Tyronius, Dalamud Papodo, Smooth Sailing, Scry de la Rosa, Ignil the Dragon, Jamie Assur, Elim, Chesha Solteri, Meili Algram, Cecirifulu Lirifu, Ariel, Courtney, Daimos, Casey Schaefer, and Omegacat Comet. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 107. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Yaspot, Rollo Des, and Maela Vanadar.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 107, this August the 25th, 2018. Today, we are going to talk about the developer messages from the developers, which, again, has been updated this week. We'll read 3 of those. And we'll talk about the Rising, which starts tomorrow. And we will discuss everything we know about that event, as well as a small great discussion about the legacy items that are being released as well. Our main story, GameWatch interview with Yoshi-P and Soken. The topics there include 14's graphics, Monster Hunter World crossover, Pegos, and the anniversary. They'll discuss a lot of stuff about that. So there's, if you've read that interview, you probably already know that there's going to be the community. This is another one of those things that split the community. We'll talk about that. And after the show, we'll have Gillionaire. So look forward to that. It'll be Rollo against Mala. So look forward to that.
Oh, wasn't I supposed to help you with something?
I fixed it. I remembered it yesterday, and I hadn't done anything. So I sat up all night.
I was supposed to write questions, wasn't I?
Yeah. I was also supposed to write.
Forgot.
Yeah, just forgot. So I did it. It's happening today. So look forward to Gillionaire to after the show. Remember, you can watch that live. So if you're watching live, it's pointless to bring this up for the VOD viewers, but there you go. In channel updates, as usual, there's not much. There's Secrets of a Realm coming up this week, so look forward to that. All right. Quick news. Letter from the Producer Live, part 46, has been set for August the 31st to coincide. So this happens during... Oh, I just realized it happens during the 14-hour broadcast.
Oh, yeah. Right.
That's why it's at a weird time.
Yeah,
because it's at 3:30 a.m. GMT, which is 8:30 p.m. PDT, so for once America gets
I can actually
prime time.
This is our time now.
We'll discuss our predictions. I'll probably stay up to just I can't sleep through I can't sleep through a live letter. That's that. Woo! Live letter. So what do you think we'll see in the live letter? Because this is part 2.
Ooh, for sure, the mega details on the raid.
Yeah.
Well, no, probably. Did they reveal Kafka, or did we wait till we?
They
got
did.
in-game?
They showed the trailer.
We'll get the last boss then. We'll know what the last boss is.
Yes.
I'm sure that'll be in the trailer for sure.
Yeah, I would assume they would.
Gonna be Omega
for sure.
You think they're just gonna show Omega at the end of the trailer? Like, that's the raid the whole time.
Yeah.
It is 100% just gonna be Omega, right? It's not gonna be anything cool. It's just gonna be Omega.
I don't know.
It's gonna be.
He's gonna be so hard. Hopefully,
It's gonna be Jekt.
I would prefer Jekt.
Oh,
honestly.
who wouldn't? Right? Who wouldn't?
if it was Sin and like.
Oh, Sin would be cool, but
It just like slowly went down on the arena and you drowned.
that
No,
is
it's
technically.
Thin,
It will
but then
be
I was like,
Jekt
how do
phase
you
1.
like dramatically show off a derpy whale?
Yeah.
Right? trailer, it would just be you'd be like, "What is that?"
Look at Bismarck.
Look at
Or
Bismarck.
we have
Yeah.
like a Titus NPC
Yeah.
with us too. We'd be like, fuck you, Dad. That's what's
I hate my dad.
He's fucked all my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And like a giant whacker,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
like
A
giant
Sephiroth, just like,
Waka.
"Whoa."
Just being racist in the background.
Yeah, God,
I
it's gonna be great.
I feel though that Alpha's gonna play a part here, so I'm still with
In the story,
I still have a
Yeah.
feeling that Alpha might not be quite who we think he is. We'll
I
see.
bet Alpha is like Midgard's Ormer or something, and they just put like the same.
Yeah, maybe.
The second time,
Yeah.
like just exact same thing as Alexander when it was like, "Oh, it was you all along." You know.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Chocobo Dungeon though, so I can't say much about Alpha. Maybe maybe there'll be something from there.
Yeah. I mean, it's called Alphascape. I'm just saying it's not following like a set path like name-wise. So it's just weird that it's suddenly Alphascape. So
If the last boss is Alpha and he's like the same size as the enemy model,
That would be great.
that would be amazing.
yeah.
It's gonna be Omega's gonna be the final boss.
It's
We
gonna
all
Oh
be
know.
alright.
yeah, I would be very surprised if it wasn't. But maybe it's Omega plus someone else.
I think we need. This is it's a little bit of a side note, but this is like we need fifth fights for these kind of launches. You know what I mean?
That'd be fun.
Like,
Like
we need a
having
fifth. We need a
surprise
fifth fight. Yeah, like
Oh,
that,
yeah,
would,
right.
that would be
Yeah.
what I want. You
Yeah.
know, it's like
so 5.
it's like- I mean, they're gonna give us trash ass Sephiroth anyways. I know we all know it.
It's not gonna be.
It's gonna be
Sephiroth.
the-
no.
it's gonna- Best
Dude,
fight in the
I don't
game.
want it to be, but I've like it's gonna be Sephiroth.
They got to save for the expansion when the remake comes out.
Yeah.
So they
Well-
don't want to blow their load too early.
I mean,
Yeah.
Wasn't he meant to be Xenos anyway? Really?
Pretty much.
I mean, the similarities are there.
yeah. I mean, I feel like wouldn't they do it like earlier, Sephiroth? Like they would have brought him into the game earlier. Like if they really
I
wanted
don't think they-
Sephiroth.
I don't think they could have got away with it at that point
True, that's a good point.
because it was like they were doing like stuff like the Crystal Tower, which is heavily written into the game, right? The lore of the game. They didn't really have the opportunity for just like a raid that is just fan service. Like that's the story and purpose of the raid is just to put in old stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
I
This
don't
is
know.
the most fan service of all the raids.
oh,
for
by
sure.
a long
Oh
shot.
yeah, for sure. Oh,
By a
absolutely.
long shot. I don't
Just
think they
remember
can
that this
go more
boss,
fan service.
this boss only exists because we needed someone to fight Shinryu, who we then very easily killed a bit later on.
on our own. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
A stronger version of Shinryu actually. So
yeah, so
I don't think the original Shinryu would have been. It would have been easy, probably.
yeah, bit
Yeah.
weird. But oh well.
We'll see.
Ozma 2 will come back.
Hey.
Osmo,
Oh, I know. Hell yeah.
Ozma 2 Electric Boogaloo will happen.
that would be fantastic.
Right. Moving on. On the dev blog, they've shown off some new functions that are being added to the minion and mount system. You can now search and favorite
I
mounts.
have one question, and they have to make this happen now. Favorite mount roulette.
Yes, right.
That would be nice.
That's
I
or
would
fa-
actually
or
thought it
favorite
was in the
minion
game
roulette.
for the longest time, but it isn't.
I almost thought that once they need a favorite. I agree. That's out.
Yeah,
I'm
because-
so tired
because-
of getting that half heart chair. I absolutely hate
The
it.
broom.
Why
The
did
broom.
I?
I hate the broom.
Fucking
you don't like the
broom.
broom? You cast.
I hate the broom.
No.
Every time, and I'm not I either get the fucking Yol mount, which I hate above it because it's too big,
Yeah.
and I get it all the time. That one, or I get the half chair. It's either the left or the right, or the fucking Yol mount. Stop.
That's what you get
Stop.
for getting both chairs. You're being
Supposed to be
punished.
random. Don't give me the Yol mount. Stop giving me the heart mount. It's half a chair. It's half a chair.
Wow. Weren't we talking about this very recently? Like, we'd like them to add a search bar.
Yes.
This is a few podcasts.
Yeah,
ago.
So they just
Yeah.
listen. They were like, "Oh, search part. Yeah, sure."
Ah,
Hey,
they
do that.
certainly
no-
do.
Speaks of Ireland. They've
But
got so many good ideas.
it's really cool because you can favorite it. You can also search body text. So if you can't
Right,
remember
yeah.
the name of the mount, you can just do Ananta, and it will give you the mount from the Ananta because it says
Yeah.
so in the body text. So that's pretty
That's
cool.
Really good.
I like that a lot.
yeah.
That's great.
Also, when you favorite a mount, there will be an extra tab on the left side that is just a star. So all your favorite mounts will be there. So it'll be easier to access. Those
also very nice.
Very nice. They also changed the inventory back to the full expanded version again, which I don't understand why they even redesigned it to a less good version. Now it's just a full thing.
I don't understand what the difference is because I don't use that inventory. Like I use the small.
So basically, the new one is that everything's on one page, and then
do I have to do that?
No, you don't have to do that. You can sit with your tiny PS3 inventory. Yeah. You can bring back your magnifying glass and look through your inventory. Basically, but the expanded one has all 4 tabs on one thing. Well, 4. It's 4 tabs on one, right? And
the one it is currently is now in 2 sets of 2.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. Okay. So now you just get everything in one. That's nice, and they also made it so that if you're a crafter and you do collectibles, the collectible icon will now be on the icon.
Oh, that is
finally.
That's one of those things. That's gonna make my life so much easier, man.
Yeah.
Right?
That's like, why wasn't that there in the beginning?
I know.
PS3. PS3.
Oh,
no. Collectibles weren't in the.
They were.
Oh, yeah,
they were Heavensward.
Yeah, that's right.
They were the worst thing Heavensward brought to the game.
I
agree.
So that's good. Also, the emote list is getting an update. They will also now have 2 new. There's a full favorite tab now, which shows you can favorite your emotes, but also a history of emotes that you've used recently. So that's good. And no search bar for some reason, but I mean, whatever. It's not. We don't have that many emotes. Yeah.
And to be fair, if you can search it, you could do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like if you're searching dance, it's like
true.
Yeah.
Good point. So that's that's good. That's a good quality of life change. And we've requested that a lot of times.
Thanks for listening to us.
Yeah.
Thanks, Yoshi-P.
Thank you for listening to us. Just listening to us.
Make sure you propagate that.
This is the speakers
guys.
patch, everyone, and you need to remember that.
Brought to you by us.
Yeah.
Thank us later.
So in other news, the PS4 version is now migrating to the PlayStation 4 version patch system. So I never really dabbled in the console version except for the PS3 version, but from those 2 hours that I played that, it's horrible. They have their own little, like as it is right now, they still have like the same login launcher that we have on PC, but on the PS4, so it's just like a black I don't know if that's changed. Maybe it's like a Heavensward or a Stormblood background or whatever. Oh, still the same. So it was like patched through there.
Still 1.0.
But now, since they're migrating to the PS4 system, it means that you can have it on and it will patch in the background when you're not, like with any other apps on your PS4.
Yeah, it patches through the like actual PS4.
Yeah, is that not a thing?
Already. I mean, I kind of get why that wasn't in there before. Like that, I can imagine that.
Maybe that was a PS3 limitation.
Maybe.
Maybe not. I'm not sure on that, but I can understand why that would be a little difficult.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a PS4 player, I'd be very happy with that. That sounds much better.
Apparently, it also saves them like a lot of space on the PS4 as well. I don't know how, but people are saying that it's gonna have extra free space on your PS4 because of that.
That's nice.
That's pretty cool. Now.
If I've heard a lot of trouble people have had with the patcher on PS4. I always remember seeing posts like on patch day being like, the update broke my install. Now I have to re-download everything again. Yeah. I would always see those posts every single update.
Yeah. Thanks. So congratulations, PlayStation 4 players. We also had a new tombstone reveal for 4.4. It's called Genesis.
I like that name.
It's a nice
name. I like
name.
the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
So.
AKA the Mega Drive.
Yeah, Mega Drive.
Whatever. Mega Drive.
God, I love the Mega Drive so much.
So, Genesis, does that tell us anything? It just means, isn't that like origin?
Like the beginning.
The beginning,
yeah.
Very
I don't know what that means. Yeah.
It's the beginning of the new season. Like
it's
we talked about.
The next PvP season?
Yes. Because they would use that on the PvE.
Yeah.
It really makes me wish that I could read it. Because that means we have actual information on like the origins.
Oh yeah, right.
Something.
Yeah.
Right. Probably the elegance. Man, I want to read it. Give me like a tome reader, please.
Yeah. So that's cool. You have nothing to say. That's just normal. We get tomestones.
They announce them all the time.
Yeah. What?
Trade your whatever the one that's going. Called.
Whatever. There's a tombstone.
Rarities are going.
Severity? Oh yeah, because rarity is old. That's like one a 4.0 currency, isn't it? Yeah. New Tales from the Storm has also been added to the anniversary. To both the anniversary side, but also the still existing Tales from the Storm site. It's called The First Step, and it tells the story of Ferdola and Arnvald. I think that's post Liberation, I think, or is it pre? I haven't had time to read that one actually, so I don't know. But go read that at the anniversary website. Do I still remember? I don't remember that's na.finalfantasy14.com/5th_anniversary or eu.finalfantasyxiv.com/5th_anniversary. Right. Before we get to our main story, the GameWatch interview, I think we'll do the messages from the developers first. And this time I'll actually show for our visual viewers so that you'll see the visual viewers. You are the visual viewer.
If you have vision, you'll see something.
Surely that just the viewers, because the others would be the listeners.
Well, anyways, for those watching the video, the moving pictures, you'll be able to see the little things, the little icons they have now.
Have you heard they can make pictures move now?
It's actually pretty, I mean, moving pictures. No, I'm not going to go there. Okay, let's start. This is, of course, from the anniversary website again. I just gave you the address for that. We'll start with...
Who does these art pictures, by the way? Because they're really nice.
I don't know. Yeah, they're nice. First ones...
They've been doing them for a while.
Yeah, these are old. Like, they came from A Realm Reborn. This is from Takeo Suzuki, our team lead. It's been a busy 5 years, and if you include all of the staff from the original Final Fantasy XIV, plus everyone who's joined since then, I've worked alongside a lot of people. We all have our own ideas about how to make the game better overall, and thankfully, most of the players seem to enjoy what we produce. That's why we're able to celebrate our 5th anniversary, and I'm incredibly grateful to the staff and the players. Thank you, everybody. Personally, the thing that makes me happiest is to be able to continue working on Final Fantasy XIV. I'll do everything I can to see this game reach its 10th or even 15th anniversary, so please wish us luck.
Good luck, lads.
Good luck, lads.
Do you think he worked with Tanaka? He must have.
Well, that's a good question, actually. No, I think he was... Well, he's art team lead. No, he's probably new. I think most of the art team was...
He probably drew these pictures.
Yeah, maybe.
He's been working on it since 1.0.
Next one's from someone we know very well. It's Toshio Moriuchi, or Foxclon as we know him as, a global community producer.
He's the handsome one.
Yeah. I'm sure whether it's been 5 years already or only 5 years is a matter of perception. But as I look back on it all right now, I find myself thinking, already? The year we first celebrated the Rising, I was surprised to note that I had traveled over 150,000 kilometers by air in a single year.
Wow.
Yikes.
4 years on, I've now flown far enough that I might as well have been to the moon and back, 800,000 kilometers. Thank you so much for supporting us the whole way. This year will also bring with it our 3rd round of Final Fantasy XIV FanFests. Once again, your passion has motivated us to expand our Tokyo event, which we will be holding on an exponentially larger scale than last time. I know I say this every time, but believe me, this one's really going to be amazing. As we look forward to the next 5 years, remember, hear, feel, have fun.
Do you know what I got out of that? We need to crowdfund sending Foxconn to the moon for real. Have his dreams come true.
It's for research, for the Ascians on the moon.
Yeah,
we should petition like Square Enix, be like, all the Kupo nuts profit goes to a charity, and that charity is sending Foxconn to the moon charity.
Gotta kind of charity is this?
I don't know. It's a charity.
Yeah. Or maybe it's a hint about like we're going to the moon soon. Moon confirmed, everyone. So our next and last person, I'll just love the picture here. It's I forgot for our audio listeners to actually describe what they look like, but Foxstone was sitting on a Marlboro, of course, and
with his very fat ass, he was just crushing it. Such a fatty, God.
Yeah. The art team just sat on a chair. Okay, this one's really good. This is Masaki Nakagawa, who's the battle content designer, also known as Mr. Ozma.
I
love this picture.
It's so good.
Like he's looking at Hypnotoad or something.
Yeah.
He's totally hypnotized 100%.
It's very good.
That's really good.
A lot has happened during these 5 years of designing battles for Final Fantasy XIV. The thing I remember most vividly is the development of Pharaoh Sirius. That was the first time I was in charge of designing the fights in a dungeon, and I went a little overboard. I may have made it a bit too hard. Oh yeah, remember that? That was, my bad.
Still hard, asshole. We did that minimum.
Our staff has worked very hard to become the type of developers who can create not only great primal battles and 8 or 24-man raids, but new duties like ultimate raids, deep dungeons, and Eureka as well. Please continue to support us as we try new things and work to create even more encounters for you to enjoy. Mr. Ozma.
Thank you, Mr. Ozma.
Thank you, Mr. Ozma.
The best guy.
I love his look of just complete I don't even know what it is, if it's dread or whatever, but it's nice.
After having made Eureka, I would have that same look.
Oh, ouch.
Ooh, they were the zingers.
You can read more messages from the developers. I'll repeat this again. This is the last time, so pay attention. na.finalfantasy14.com/5th_anniversary if you're in North America. eu.finalfantasy14.com. Sorry, that's finalfantasyxiv.com/5th_anniversary. That's 5th_anniversary. 5th in the number, not
5th to the 5.
Yes, 5.
Just put the link in the description.
I have Nikhil, I have a question though. What happens if they're listening from Japan?
Then it'll be jp.finalfantasyxiv.com/5th_anniversary /.
You won't get the link in chat. You fucking write it down. I just told you like 5 times.
What year do we live in?
Write it down and then write it in your browser window afterwards.
Yeah. You got to say in Japanese for Japanese people. Though. Come on.
Yeah. jp.finalfantasyxiv.com/5th_anniversary. There's a backslash there as well at the end there if you want to be very specific.
Have you been writing it down?
Have you all written it down? Can I move on now? I'll read it again. No, just kidding. Okay, so now our main story. There was a GameWatch interview with Naoki Yoshida and Soken during Gamescom, and this has now been released, and we are going to read through most of it. We might have to jump over. I've cut off the first half.
A lot of fluff in there.
Not a lot of fluff. I wish I wrote down the actual address for this too. It was on Reddit. There's a link. See, I've put the link on the show notes, but it's like an interactive link, so I'm trying to click it. It doesn't work, so nothing's opening for me.
Not sure why.
Not sure quite why, but if someone could write it down for me and mail it to me, so I can get on there.
Mail it.
Yeah. If you're watching it on demand, link will of course be in the description. Okay, here's the first question, and it's about 14's graphics. Final Fantasy XIV has realistic style graphics, so do you so you have to keep up with the latest trends. Are you jealous of cel shaded games because it's not as strict for them? I mean, fair question.
What kind of question is that?
I mean,
no, it's not.
I understand the question because realistic graphics age much faster than cel shaded games.
Yeah,
but cel shaded games have no texture.
14, I've said this before, 14 has found this perfect balance between realistic and sort of half cartoon. Like, it's not let's bring up an example, Black Desert, which I'm astounded that a game from 2014 has got a fucking remaster. How does that even happen? How does that happen? Anyway,
I mean, that just released an Xbox One too, or something.
Yeah, I would take. If they're gonna give us an HD texture pack, I'm not gonna complain.
It's just weird to call it a remaster. It's just, I think it's weird. A remaster is like, oh, that's an old game. Like, oh, that's like from like 2005.
Yeah, that's a dumb wording because you're right. It makes it seem older than it is.
Yeah, oh, the classic is getting a fucking remastered.
I mean, Black Desert.
It does look really good now. But...
Whatever. The thing is that the fact that they needed it is a testament to how quickly those graphics age. Because Black Desert, when it came out, everyone was like, oh my god. And then only a few years later I noticed, like, oh, what are these? Like, things look bad. They also got terrible pop-ins. That's another story. 14.
Apparently the pop-in's worse now.
Is it?
That's what Orange told me.
What the
Of course Orange is playing it.
That's of course. He was very hyped for that. Anyways, 14 has sort of found that perfect like middle ground. It's like half realistic, half cartoonish. It doesn't age as badly. It's a very
specific art style.
Yes.
And it works
almost
well.
anime.
Almost anime, but
the only
not quite.
thing 14 falls down on is its pitiful texture.
Yes.
But there's no consistency with them, as we talked about.
That's the biggest problem. Yeah. It's not even that if they were all shit, it would be like better almost.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. Oh. That looks. What are those two things doing beside each other?
So it's also cell shaded. I feel don't even age because the textures they don't really have textures.
Yeah, they age in resolution.
That's it.
Oh, Kami's like a fucking PS2 game. That game still looks amazing to this day.
Yeah. Anyways, let's read Yoshi-P's answer. It wasn't my idea to turn Final Fantasy into an MMO. That is a weird sentence.
He's instantly like, it wasn't my idea.
Not my fault.
Don't blame me.
But ever since I took over, I've felt that we have to show off that we're a Final Fantasy game. I'm not jealous of other games. We like high-end games and want to play games like that. So we think about things like using more bones, making the movement smoother, making long hair flow better, etc. But if we did those things, then we'd only be able to add 2/3 of the amount of equipment per patch. Volume is part of quality, so we can't let that drop either. It's a double-edged sword. Our current assignment is to keep researching how we can efficiently create high-level assets. If the timing works out, then maybe we'll be able to upgrade the graphics.
It's just the textures, though.
Yeah, we don't want the graphics updated.
Yeah,
we
but
just want the textures.
Remember, this is going through a translator. He might, we don't know if maybe he might be thinking textures.
Yeah. Everything about the game looks great.
There's nothing else graphically I want to change.
Oh, well, actually, clipping. I'd like to sort clipping out.
Clipping's I
want capes back.
What are you gonna do?
I want the Odin cape back.
What do you mean? What you're gonna do? You're gonna get detection physics.
Yeah, but
that's not an easy
that's
in an MMO. That's ridiculously hard.
Yeah,
It's not like Battlefield where there's 4 different bodies that go on 4 different heads. It's not like that. You know what I mean? There's a million pieces of gear.
Yeah.
WoW has what?
WoW has
WoW barely has hair physics, dude.
They have 3 strands of hair.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Their hair is just like a mass.
Yeah,
but they still do have that technology.
Yeah, but it's easier to do that there because 14 is.
Yeah, that isn't even.
We'd all have to have Byakko hair then, like Ramu's beard hair. I don't want that. That would look horrible.
I want Ramu's beard on my head.
No. What was I saying? I forgot what we.
Black Desert probably has loads of. Cloth physics, mate.
Talking about bones, better. Oh wait, no.
Black Desert. The only thing they've put effort in Black Desert are the characters, because that's what they sell, so people can fap. That's all. That's all they made it for. Sweaty titties. Yeah.
Exposed.
The character creator's not even good because you're like stuck with these archetypes that you can't.
Why are we talking about Black Desert?
I don't know.
Stop derailing. Let's derailing. Talking about other MMOs again. I want the capes back. That's one thing that shows that they had cloth physics at some point. So if you haven't seen that before, viewers or listeners, there were multiple videos out there showing because the Odin chess piece used to have a cape, and that cape had actual physics that were planned to be put into the game, but I'm assuming, or not assuming, we all know the PS3 couldn't handle it, so they had to remove it. So the Odin cape is gone. I think there's a version with a cape, but it's using the static animation thing, which isn't physics. It's just animated to your movements. But that was a thing that this engine can pull off, and if they can pull off that with a cape, they can pull that off with hair.
Well, they did add it to the floppy things on long shirts.
I don't like that, because
I don't like it either.
Still, when they do this, they stand out like shark fins. So it's not true physics.
It's not as bad as the old stuff, though.
It's really bad. The print set from the Mog Station, those little tassels you have look fucking awful.
Yeah.
They're so stiff. Yeah. Ugh, it's bad.
I hope they do stuff like that, because that is a type of physics that this engine it's already in the engine. It's just you just have to turn it on, turn it back on, and that would just help a lot.
If they could do something like, I can understand why you might not be able to turn that on for PlayStation 4,
right?
Because that's a PS Pro now.
Yeah, that could be a pro feature.
Sure. Yeah, a pro feature. But either way, my point is that having it so it's disabled on, PS4, and it's just like, PC, if your computer can handle it, right?
They're so afraid.
More options would be nice.
Yeah, exactly. Just more choices whether you want to turn things on or off. But
still, I don't even know if that cape physics is that demanding. I mean, at some point they probably thought that the PS3 could pull it. So,
but just think about it this way: like if you were running adding extra physics, like rendering to what amount of people? It could be like 400 people in a zone wearing Odin capes. You're gonna, I mean, of course that's not gonna happen, but they do have to prepare for that.
Add a fucking toggle. Like I think they even had that in 1.0 where you could turn off physics for gear.
Yeah, for sure.
That's an option now. You turn off physics turn them off for other people, turn them on for yourself. Right?
But the physics here are like those half physics, I call them, that are not actual physics. They're just like movement.
They don't want the PC version to have anything the PS4 version does.
That's true. We know this.
I absolutely hate that, but you're totally right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the PC version would look amazing.
Well, yeah, but I think a lot of the stuff that we're a lot of the reason why we're so behind graphically is because of the PS3 and not the PS4. The PS4 is still we are still catching up to the PS4. We're getting icons on our inventory now, which the PS3 couldn't do. We're getting search bars. These are minor things, but these were things that we probably couldn't have because of the PS3's limited memory. So lots can happen still. And now it seems to be okay to add PS4 Pro features now for games. So they might do that in the future. So maybe you can get capes in the PS4 Pro version.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can make a different SKU or whatever. Hey, this is the fancy version of the game.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and again,
have to buy a new box for it.
I have to point out, I am pretty sure that the PS4 is we still haven't caught up to it, what it can do. We're not pushing it to the limit yet. So don't worry. I mean, you can run 14 off a toaster. 14 is very well optimized.
It's very well up. It's very surprising.
Yeah. Okay. The next question was, since you joined the board of directors, there's been concern that your workload has gotten heavier and you have less time to spend on 14. Yoshida says, even before I became a full-time employee, I was already doing similar work to 1. And before I became the BD5 executive, I was already handling the huge Final Fantasy XIV project, and since Hiromichi-san left the company and left Final Fantasy XI in my hands, 11 as well.
Wait, he's the executive of, I guess so, right? If he's all BD5, I guess that makes sense.
Wait, what?
Poor Yoshida.
How? Why are you?
Well, no, he's not he's not director producer on it or anything.
He left 11 in his hands.
Right, because he is now business.
Oh, right.
So now he encompasses all of that stuff. Opposed to just.
And after that, there was Dragon Quest Builders too. And after becoming a company executive, at the end of the day, it meant that I was assisting with development company-wide, and I got more chances to talk to the president. When I became an executive, it meant I had one more monthly meeting to go to, and even after becoming a director, that's just yet another monthly meeting. What I'm actually doing hasn't changed much. At the very least, it hasn't cut into the time that's allocated for 14.
Please hire this guy like a producer already, so he can just go back to having one role.
Yeah,
that's kind of
he gets like 7 paychecks, and he has to go to 2 extra meetings. Every month. He's living the dream.
That's true. That is true. He did get a huge pay bump with not a whole lot of extra work. That is true.
Yeah,
I don't know. Get the ultimate guy. He's going to do a lot of good work.
So many rings. Like
he's got so many. He's just got like a pile of boxes on his desk. Just what day? Oh, what ring day is it today? Oh God. You often hear employees talking about how getting higher in management distanced them from the development scene. Soken replies, "It's not like that in our company." Yoshida says, "Nope." Soken says, "You get more distinguished, but you don't leave the development scene. You have to do both." Yoshida says, "My condition for agreeing to join the board of directors was that they weren't allowed to cut down on my 14 duties or tell me to stop doing live streams. They told me that I didn't have to change anything, so I said okay. So nothing has changed. My workload has increased a bit, but it's the same level of work that I was doing before. I'm not the type that gets hung up over titles, so you don't have to worry about that." I want to stream.
Next live
I know,
stream,
right? That's how
Could you imagine
with
like
a crown on, saying like executive?
It sounds like he was talking to his mom. It's like, Mom, I'm not gonna stop streaming. Okay,
it's my life, Mom. You don't understand.
No one makes it on Twitch.
Okay. That's yeah. Nice. That's
I hope one day they lighten his workload or something.
I still think it's time to bring in either a producer or a director to unload Yoshida a little
bit.
We've
got 4 years left.
True, those would be 4 very long years.
That's
a long time to be doing 2 roles,
and especially since he's been doing this for 8 years already. Well, yeah, more or less 8 years.
Yeah.
Jesus.
How many people? Sorry. That's a relief to hear. He says, "If anything, Final Fantasy XIV has grown so big that it's really hard to keep track of everything. Well, I reap what I sow." This is nice because now everyone can shut up about saying that there's only like 12 people on the development team, because now we get numbers, ladies and gentlemen.
Now we know
how many people are working on it now. Right now, we need to create big things fast, so there are usually 350 people involved in Final Fantasy XIV's development and a little under 500 people during crunch time. If you include the management team, then it probably reaches 650.
That's a huge dev team.
Yes. Yeah. So everyone can just chill now. I'm so tired of people going like, "There's only like 10 people." I'm like, no.
I wonder how that compares to other MMOs.
This is a AAA MMO.
Because I know WoW started out with 60 people or something, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that size now.
Well, obviously.
I'm curious how it compares to the team.
Because 350 seems like a lot, but you never really know, and you don't really know what the scale is.
Like cleaners and stuff. Yeah, sure. They would be there during crunch time. They were like, "Yeah, could you come clean? It's crunch time."
It's kind of worrying how it increased by 150 during crunch, though.
Yeah.
Like, where do they pull them from? How well do they know the project?
Typical.
Yeah,
they're probably like freelancers.
You can also hire freelancers. Yeah,
I mean, there are also people in Square Enix that just run like that don't have like a specific project that they can call in, like programmers.
Take all the guys from FF7 remake. They don't.
Yeah.
That game's not real, anyways.
Yeah.
They've not been anything for about 6 years. They might as well keep on it.
Yeah. And then the game is rapidly increasing in scale too. After understanding all of the Eureka mechanics. Why are we bringing this up? Now I've shifted to assisting with the perform action and the housing roleplay feature.
This is kind of weird.
Of course, I also have to participate in raid balancing too, and then there's the brand new systems that we haven't revealed yet. I have to be the one that's most knowledgeable about all of these things. At first, I only had to know raids, instant dungeons, alliance raids, and gathering crafting, but now it's even worse on those fronts. And then he laughs.
That's the laugh of the insane man. It's overworked.
I reap what I sow. What do you think the brand new features are? I want to know what the brand new features are. I haven't revealed yet. After he says, housing roleplay feature.
It's probably housing roleplay feature.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice to like get the specific number now, because my God, have I heard a lot of wives' tales.
I don't even know where
about...
that came from. Like, I don't know why people started saying that. It made no sense.
I don't know. They were.
I think it was just like a perception thing or whatever.
I guess.
I don't know.
But people saying that like it was fact. 3/4 of the team is now gone. It's like,
yeah.
Where did you hear that?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, but we never see all of them. Like, do you want to see 650 people? How are we going to show them off? In what situation would they go, let's go through all 650 people?
Do you want to see junior programmers? Like,
I do. I definitely do.
Here's everyone in QA, guys. I mean, they did really good work, but
yeah.
And then it's like the dark corner, his chocobo racing guy.
Oh, front and center.
Right. Well, we have to enter the dark timeline just a little bit today, but we're not going to stay there for long. It's not a dark time. It's not too dark.
I live there.
We're just touching on the dark timeline today. So because it's about Eureka Pagos, and this is the part of the interview that a lot of people it rubbed them the wrong way, and I think you'll understand why when I read through it. Eureka Pagos. Regarding Eureka Pagos, which was added recently, the equipment upgrades feel a bit more difficult than they were in Animos. Or does it only feel harder because Animos was too easy? Yoshida says, I don't think it was too easy, but Animos had an interesting playstyle. The players who went in first probably farmed mobs really fast, raised their elemental level, started hunting NMs when they were close to the level cap, and hit cap that way. While they were doing that, they gathered crystals and upgraded their weapons. The players who started later spawned NMs one after the other and leveled while upgrading their weapons. The players who rode that wave probably didn't do much mob farming. Since players came in two waves, they see it in different ways. The players who went in first this time probably also went in first last time, so they'll use trial and error while chaining mobs and figuring out how to use mutations and environmental adaptations effectively. This time, the people who farmed NMs are starting at the same time, so they're questioning why they have to farm mobs to upgrade their weapons.
Nope, that's wrong, because we started at the beginning and we farmed mobs and realized that the NM train was more effective.
Yeah.
So obviously in this time we're going to assume the same, but no, you made arbitrary changes to the gameplay to stop us doing that, and then reverted them later on, but none of my business.
That's the reason why I didn't do Animos, because I went in and I'm like, the first day, like you remember, we were all there, and I was like realizing like, oh, it's just killing mobs, like just chain mobs. And then I was like, oh, this is stupid and a waste of time, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And then for them to come out and be like, oh, this is what you're supposed to be doing, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Definitely not my thing now.
That definitely doesn't feel like a very in-touch answer at all. Because that's not what's, that's not really what's happening.
This ride isn't over, yes.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm actually waiting to say what I want to say.
So they can't just use the same methods in Pagos that they were using in Animos, the interviewer asks, or says. Yoshida says, the most efficient way of increasing elemental level still hasn't been found. This time, the trick is to make efficient use of mutations and adaptations while chaining. But maybe it was a bit too hard to figure out. The people who are waiting on NM spawns don't want to farm regular mobs because of their Animos experience and are dissatisfied because they just want to hunt NMs. So with the last patch, we didn't really increase the NM spawn rate to as much as it was before in Animos, but we increased the amount of EXP they give. It's not as effective as it was in Animos, but you can still wait for NMs to spawn if you want to. But for the weapon upgrades, your predecessors spent a lot of time and effort farming mobs to grow stronger, so we won't ease up on that. Please learn how to do that. Let me just repeat that. Please learn how to do that.
That sounds so hostile.
Yeah.
Wait for the next sentence.
It doesn't, it's not over. It kind of feels like even though people ask for change, they're upset when there is change.
This is why, as an executive, they would want him to stop doing interviews and live streams.
Yeah.
It's like he just got ultimately triggered and was like, guys, on God's sake.
People asked for change because it sucked.
Yeah.
And then you changed it was something that sucked more. It has no idea. It has nothing to do with people being upset that they don't like change.
Yeah.
Please learn how to do it.
Change
learn how to do it, please.
Please learn how to do the content.
Please learn.
Yes.
I agree with him on the part where
just take a break. Just take a break from the game, yes, or learn how to do it.
Game.
Yeah, you're right.
You
You're
don't
right.
want to do it how I want you to do it.
Okay. The person who directed Eureka's battle content this time said to me, Yoshida, in 1.0, when you changed the MP cost of White Mage's Cure 3, even though it made a better game, people complained that they couldn't spam Cure 3 without running out of MP anymore. I remembered how they criticized that the balance was broken. Instead of making sudden big changes, should we change things to how they should be through several steps? He's comparing Pegas to back in 1.0 when they changed the MP cost of Cure 3.
I agree with half of that.
Which was basic balancing. So
that's balancing. It has nothing to do with creating content.
Well,
I agree with the part where he's like, people don't like change, and sometimes in the sense that
that's
they'll
normal.
Kind of just find to complain about it. But I don't agree with the part about having to make changes.
We'll discuss this further when I'm done with the whole quote. Let's see. But as we learned from Diadem, if you're too moderate, then that doesn't get across either. People's impressions won't change unless you make dramatic changes. If you're going to triple the EXP, then you should do it in one go. I left Japan after telling them that.
That's my favorite part.
What does that mean, by the way?
I left Japan.
He exiled himself.
I'm done.
I've moved.
Yeah. So I think that the feel of Pegas will change again. It's really hard to make new rules for a game within a game. But that's precisely why we're taking on this challenge, so that we can receive feedback and create content that can be enjoyed in a variety of ways. That's a positive note. That they are taking feedback still, but he's being very condescending about his answers here. He's like, get better, just do. There's been this
All I want to say about
the
changes thing, he's like, people don't like changes, but you never told us you were going to change it. It's like if you went and bought like a cheese sandwich that you've been buying for like 5 years, and then suddenly you went and you bought the same cheese sandwich, but when you ate it, it was like something completely different.
Right.
And that would, you obviously don't like change, so
and
get out.
Right. Where if somebody says, "Hey, would you like to try this new cheese sandwich we have?"
Yes.
And you try it.
You're like, oh, okay, I don't like it, but at least you've told me it's different, and I could try something new.
And I agree with one part of it is saying that it's better to do things at once to make an actual, like, to make it memorable for people and have them understand that change occurred, opposed to doing it slowly. Like the Diadem didn't work. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But man, just him saying, well, it's like you guys don't like change.
Yeah.
Like he really seems to try pushing it on the community. Like you guys don't like it.
It's your fault.
It's our fault. Like you guys don't understand it. You don't get it. So why don't you like it?
In a way, it's fine because it's his game and he can do what he wants with it. But if I can give feedback and I just don't play that content.
Yeah,
right.
I think this is like a very Japanese thing.
We have to stop saying this every time. Like excuse him. Like that's a very Japanese thing to say. I mean, no, I'm not Japanese. I'm not Japanese. So he's talking to a European reporter,
and neither are the majority of the players.
Yeah, maybe he should. If that's a Japanese thing, maybe he should take some lessons and learn about how to talk to a European reporter.
I think it's like one of those things where it's like. It's a cultural thing. It's a big generalization here, but like when you go to like a restaurant in Japan, you order something, you don't pick like what you want in your burger. You know, you get the burger and it has whatever the chef's gonna put in there. You know, you can't say I don't want any ketchup, I don't want tomatoes, I want 3 slabs of meat. That's not a thing.
Right, and that's fine. Yeah. But also, does that explain why, if I don't like the burger, that it's not my fault that I don't like the burger?
No, like I said, I think it's like they want you to play how they want you to play.
Sure, and again, that makes sense to me. But it sounds like such a way of almost. It's like a way of dodging the fact that you didn't do something right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I did something that nobody likes, but I could just sit in the corner and going, well, that's your fault. You didn't like it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, but nobody likes it. It's your fault for making something bad.
Yeah.
It's like a weird way of dodging that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not excusing it. I just think that's kind of the reason why we're getting a response like this.
I mean, this isn't the first time it's been like this either.
No, it's true.
I don't know. I just whatever. Rumors are that the Happy Bunny fate increases NM spawn rate. Is this true? Yoshida says, I won't answer that. It's been that long. It hasn't been that long since the patch. Back in 11, everyone worked together to figure out how to spawn NMs. Although the triggers are a bit difficult to figure out, and we understand that it's hard to confirm your hypotheses. So we're trying to do something about that. However, it's still too early to give out the answers. Back in Animos, he's talking like as if it's like years ago. People were still trying out different things at this point in time, but since Animos is completely solved now, it feels frustrating that Pagos hasn't been. This is another difficult point. Part of the content's appeal is how everyone is talking it out. I don't understand his answers. They're so weird. It's like, yeah, but it's not. Oh yeah, because you've already solved Animos. Now Pagos is frustrating because it's not solved. That's not the problem. The problem is you've designed it badly. It's bad design.
and you designed it in a way where your skills from one thing don't translate into the other one.
Yeah.
Your knowledge of something that is in the exact same category you don't transfer any knowledge over that.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Like, I'd be pretty pissed off if I went to a next raid and none of my raid experience mattered anymore. I'd be like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Go into like the next Savage raid and they're like, right, change to Carpenter.
Yeah.
Tanks don't tank anymore. I'd be like,
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, people complain like when a new raid comes out and they don't know how it works or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's normal, but that passes pretty quickly and there's not as much like
people,
control.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a learning experience. You learn with everybody. But here it feels like it just feels bad. Like I don't want to do this shit. No.
Right. And any content you make that creates this very negative community where they're like, well, get away from my chains. Just makes the community really toxic. Doesn't seem like good content in my eyes.
Yeah. They brought the NM train back, by the way. We didn't cover that because it happened.
Are we going to talk about the hotfix?
Oh, yeah. They tried to fix it. And for the most part, it seems like you can train now, but people don't res you anymore.
I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's just because people are pissed that they changed it to increase the NMs, but my god, is Pagos toxic right now. Don't go to Pagos.
I think it's just because it didn't give anybody like a happy feeling.
No, but there's also those that love the chain train that are now trying to sabotage the NM train by pulling early to ensure that people don't make it to that position in time and killing it before the train makes it there. Like, what is happening? What's the point?
Why would they make content like this that like just literally pits players against other players?
Because Animos was completely opposite. I enjoyed my time in Animos. I felt a sense of community in Animos.
Yeah.
That was the same problems.
Yeah.
But I mean, Animos had the same problems too with like, don't hit my mob. Don't hit my like, if you're chaining, don't hit my mob because you're going to fuck it up for me.
But most,
like, when we were doing
but most people didn't. But most people didn't chain back then.
Didn't, but I'm saying it's a problem that was still there, and now it's just being like exacerbated because it's like it's actually an issue now.
Yeah,
it wasn't an issue before, but now
there
it's like
are multiple issues here, like the fact that the claim system is so horrible as it is.
You can steal people's experience.
Yes.
What sense does that make?
It's again, we've already covered this to death. So, but they've taken the worst of those old school games and put them in Pagos. Stuff that other games sort of solved over the years, they put into new content in 14 because it's classic. No. There's a reason why most games, fixed it. But like the fact that we don't have a party level sync is perhaps the worst thing. That is a crime. I tried to level Rollo in Animos. Can't do that. Can't be in a party.
That's the only way I would do it is if someone went in with me. Because I don't want to do that alone because it's very fucking boring.
I had to stand next to him and watch him kill cactuars because he couldn't breathe on his mob. Otherwise, he wouldn't get anything.
Just one hit, one little slap. Like, it could be almost dead. He got the last hit. I get nothing.
Yeah.
No experience. Like, what is...
Anyways.
You're supposed to work together with your friends in MMO. What's the point?
Yeah. Okay, time to get back into the brighter timeline. Monster Hunter World.
Yay!
Hey, we're back on the light.
Yeah.
Good timeline,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
I got stuff to say here.
The good time.
This is not evil Yaz. That is evil Rolo still, apparently.
Yeah. Evil Rolo, we just can't get out. We can't get him out of here.
Yeah, sorry.
How is the Monster Hunter World collaboration now that it's actually in the game? Shida says, at first, we were going to make Rathalos Extreme an 8-man fight, but the Monster Hunter World side of the collab did all sorts of unconventional things, so we thought, oh crap, and hurried to change it into a 4-man, where 3 deaths was a wipe. So they were like, they had to up them. They were like, oh, they're doing like crazy shit that doesn't really normally happen in this game. We have to do that with our game. The fight itself has no roll restrictions. Why is this still being repeated? The fight does have roll restrictions.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Rathalos? But we still have to queue up for it.
If you queue up, it has to have the... But if you have a full party, you can get...
Oh, a full party, you can do it.
I think you guys are missing the fact that he says extreme. He's not talking about normal mode.
But I've only done normal mode once.
Yeah, extreme isn't roll off.
If you queue solo for it,
normal
it's
mode
roll
is.
Oh, is it? Okay.
You can't. All right.
Oh yeah, the thing. No, sorry, I'm messing it up. I'm thinking about the fact that have we even discussed this on the podcast that you couldn't go in as solo?
Yeah, how did that?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, that was weird. I
was pretty upset.
Yeah, I figured.
I was like, oh, I can do it. The ad comes out. I'm like.
Yeah, we were very confused too. Mel and I tried too, but it's disappointment. The fight itself has no roll restrictions, so I think it feels very Monster Hunter-like in that you can fight it with, say, 4 warriors or 4 summoners. There's an amazing video of a gunner fighting the behemoth in Monster Hunter World. They couldn't move at all and died to the meteor in the second phase, but the similarities in playstyle had a lot of people, especially overseas, saying that roll-free fights are good in this way, so maybe this will provide hints when we're creating new content.
Ooh,
also, my personal opinion is that considering the scale of content we originally planned on, the amount of work that the Monster Hunter World side put in is abnormal. Why did they even add to the fundamental systems? He laughs. It's honestly frustrating. We couldn't show parts breaking because of ratings descriptions, so I honestly want to redo it at some point and add things like dodging and guarding.
That would be cool.
That'd be very cool.
Okay, so he's just gonna update it one day. Just okay. Soken.
Breathless Savage.
Yeah. Soken adds, we had to exchange assets between Capcom's development team and ours, right? For most collaborations, you only have to share appearance data, but as you can imagine, this one was different. For example, we even got things like the special effects assets for Rathalos movements. There were thousands of WAV files. The first thing I had to do was figure out what each of the files was. Even then, I couldn't just plop them into 14 as is, so I had to process them so that 14 could use them. I made changes to the sound engine. It took a lot of time and labor, but it was really interesting and challenging collaboration. Had to change the sound engine.
Somebody tried to tell me the other day that they didn't just rip Rathalos' model from Monster Hunter World. They're like, no, they made it better. I was like,
oh,
no, they didn't. Oops. Nope, that's 100% ripped directly from the game.
Yeah. Yoshida continues, I learned a lot of things. At the end, it turned into a sort of fight between the Monster Hunter and 14 teams, but it was basically because they didn't know how to hold back. It was really refreshing how both sides gave their full efforts, and I'm thankful to the Monster Hunter team because everyone is having fun with the content. I've known them for 10 years, and we've made this collaboration promise 8 years ago. Both of us want them to keep doing things like game fans will enjoy. If we keep doing exciting things, then I think there'll be more students who'll see that the gaming industry is amazing. Instead of fussing over design and gameplay, they'll see how silly we can be.
That's a nice, hopeful ending.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
And then they'll look at him and just see this like weary old man covered in jewelry and think, that could be me one day.
Yeah. Do we need to talk about the rest, or do you want to vet something, Rollo?
There's something I want to say. So if you read it on, he'll talk about how like at first they were playing it really fucking safe with the Rathalos fight. It was basically just going to be like literally another extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And then he saw like what the Capcom team was doing with Behemoth, and they were like doing all this crazy stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's probably just conjecture or something. I'm just don't look too far into it. But I think this is kind of indicative of like how safe and conservative they like to play things. Mm-hmm. It might just be because it's other IP, so you have to be like careful with someone's IP in your game. You can't go too crazy. Yeah. But it's like they didn't want to do anything adventurous, nothing super interesting. And it's like maybe that's what's been kind of going on in Storeblood overall. That's kind of the mood.
Oh yeah, we talked about that last week. Yeah, I
agree completely.
And I think that's stuff from this interview might just be more evidence of that. Maybe.
Do you want to know what it tells me? It just shows me how much better of a development, like developers, that Capcom is than Square Enix. That's what it says to me.
Now,
I haven't done the Behemoth fight, so I can't say.
I think it's important though to note that 14 is an MMO, and I think after a while you are destined to become like this. Hopefully, though, he will snap out of it, because this is the road to darkness is when you just want to play it safe all the time. This was a nice change, though. They were like pushed to make it different to what they wouldn't. This was out of their comfort zone. He does sort of state that.
You know what they should do? You know what they should do? They should, when they're developing their regular content, maybe look at other MMOs and compete with those.
Right. Yeah,
maybe that's a good idea. I don't know. That sounds crazy. I'm just saying. Maybe look at other MMOs and do the same thing you're doing with the Capcom.
I'll say this: the reason why 1.0 failed was because they only looked at their own game when they designed it, and then they looked out of.
Worried that they're still doing that.
I'm worried that might just be happening now. They didn't do that with The Realm Reborn because they obviously looked around at that point. But now we might be regressing a little bit.
Do you remember what they said about the 4-man X fight for Rathalos in one of the older interviews or something, where he was like, well, we don't want to, 4-mans might be kind of hard because we don't want the healer to die and the party wipes. And it's like, what does that matter? I mean, why would you play that safe?
I know why, because people will complain, and that's a problem with the community. The community, as Yoshi-P said, and I know we criticized him for saying it, but there is some truth to it. People complain when there's change, and some
bunch of filthy casuals.
They have, like I said last episode, they have 400 children and 82 jobs, and they have no time to do all this new shit. They just want to log in with the 5 minutes they have free to do their usual expert dungeon, get their tomes for the year, and then come back next year for another 5 minutes of the same dungeon, because their world is different. Those people get upset when something changes. They're like, oh, I can't get my yearly tombstone? What's happening?
So specific.
Let's say people that get mad at like tome caps each week. They're like, you expect me to get 450 in 1 week? That's crazy. What if
that's
I do
crazy,
have time the next week?
And then insert reason why. Either I have this many kids, I have this many jobs,
12 jobs,
and I have a life. That's usually the three things that follow that.
I donate semen every other few minutes. I'm a busy man.
Every other few minutes.
Yeah.
On a positive for Rathalos, though, it did show when they put their minds to it, they can make their terrible netcode work well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With hit collisions or hit detection for abilities, like in, I don't remember its name, the Ponyman. Ponyman fight. I think that's the official name, isn't it? Ponyman.
What? The what?
The Ponyman fight in Rabanasta.
The Ponyman?
The figure of 8. Yeah, the Ponyman.
Oh, that dude. Oh, yeah, the figure 8. Yeah. In Rabanaster. Yeah.
Ponyman, yeah.
The chariot guy.
The chariot
pony.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like Samal. Sorkai. I thought you were talking about the Sorkai boss.
No. Okay.
No, that's the
the figure 8 thing where you actually aren't hit until he is physically there on the track. That's cool.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
We need more of that. More of that.
When they're pushed, they can do some really good stuff.
Yeah. It's just about pushing them, which is why it's so important that when they make mistakes, you don't just shout that you hate it. You have to tell them what you want them to change and why. Because they won't understand if you just shout like, this is shit. They'll be like nervous. They'll be fuck, we can't do this. Everyone fucking hates this. This says no, we can't do this. Which is technically what happened to Diadem, I think.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I'll. You know.
I couldn't even tell
I
you
was
how
on the
fix
shout
Diadem.
train for that. I screamed at Diadem without really providing any real feedback. But I think we need to be more
constructive.
Yes. I mean, of course, people will scream regardless without, you know, people will hate everything because, again, they have a million children. But
as a suggestion for Pagos, more solo content that other players can't impact, like quests or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on from the dark timeline back to the bright one. The 5-year anniversary event. We dipped into the dark timeline for. Why did we do that? We shouldn't dip in there.
Back out of it.
Yeah. 5-year anniversary event. 14 is about to celebrate its 5th anniversary since A Realm Reborn. Could you tell us about the journey until now and what you hope to see in the next 5 years? Yoshida says, a lot of the European media outlets asked me that question this year, but I actually don't have much to say. Soken says, I work hard every day, so I don't think anything special just because it's been 5 years. I just do the work that's in front of me with all I've got. It's not the same as being a producer, but I'm a developer, so I feel like I'm being chased down every day. Yoshida says, okay, but do you know how bad it is for me? Soken says, that's because you're the producer. Nothing we can do about that. Then he laughs. Yoshida says, for me, I kind of feel like feel that 5 years doesn't really matter. I mean, it's been 8 years since 1.0. What's more important is how 14 is going to evolve next. I think we're running out of features that we're missing as far as the global standards for MMORPGs goes. If I had to say, I think that in order to prevent other MMOs from catching up, we should flesh out what it means to live in the world of 14 with things that only 14 can do. Like perform. And the housing roleplay stuff.
Yeah, baby.
For our next phase, I want to expand on those things and create a fuller theme park. For the next 5 years, of course, we'll be creating new content and systems, but at the same time, I'd like to expand on the world more. As the producer, I don't feel too strongly about the 5th anniversary itself, because right now, I feel like the FanFest preparations are going to be the end of me. Then he laughs again.
I like that he called back to 1.0 and almost suggested that we should be celebrating 8 years instead of 5.
Yeah.
Which I think we should be, personally.
Yeah.
Me too.
I completely think we should be.
But, yeah. Sure. I don't know why perform and the housing roleplay is like one of his.
I think he's just trying to say, this is 14. These are things that are in 14. Let's try and have the game's identity as its own, rather than just always just trying to copy other features, which is fine.
I agree with that.
I mean, that stuff is really fun.
The glamour log.
Yeah.
I try and copy other people for that, but everything else is fine.
Big mistake is if they start to look on other MMOs and try to copy them, because that's how you kill an MMO, because it'll be insert game title here clone, and people will just, why would I play the clone and not the original?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Give me that really bad skill tree from that one game. I can't remember.
Path of Exile.
Yes, that's
yeah.
That I get a panic attack just that thing. I want that in 14.
Yeah. I'm glad he said that, though. I mean, he did. So he does talk about global standards for MMORPGs. I don't know if I quite agree if they're running out of features that they're missing, but keep 14. It's probably difficult to not copy other MMOs as well, like to see that they have that feature. That'd be nice.
One thing I think that would make feeling like you're actually living in the world more of a thing is customization. More customization of your look, how you act, or maybe like you could choose between animation sets as well.
Since there's so much emphasis on like role playing,
expand the glamour system, have like skill glamours. I don't know, like the abilities look different if you have it. Just keep adding more and more cool stuff to make yourself feel unique, because there's only like 4 faces per race. More faces per race.
I feel like that's kind of an easier one. Just add 2 more faces here and there. If you can't do sliders, I get it. But...
Yeah, I mean, there are already unique faceplates on NPCs and stuff. Just put them in there. Also, I remember someone mentioning a very simple thing, like being able to flip the hairstyle Like just
yeah,
that's easy and can make you look completely different.
Like having the ponytail on the front.
Not that much. Not that.
Not on that
front to back.
Yeah, not front to back, Mella. Although that would be fucking great.
That would be amazing.
Having like the meatball haircut on your forehead, you have the meatballs. That would be fucking great.
Could you imagine staring at the back of your character's bald head all the time?
Oh, that's good.
That's gonna be my hair. I'm gonna grow my hair and do that. Actually,
yeah.
I'm gonna have a single dread coming out in the front.
Right. There's some talk about the festival. Okay, what are the I'm going to jump a lot because there's a lot of just really dumb stuff. What are the highlights of the 14-hour broadcast? Soken says, I think they're going to make me suffer on the second broadcast. Well, the secondary broadcast isn't that important, so you should... Oh, there are 2 broadcasts.
Oh my god.
So you should watch the main. The secondary broadcast is the one that you watch while playing 14 and think, man, 14 is full of goofy developers.
Goofy?
Oh, I think that all the
Slave
time.
me!
Yeah, it's like...
No!
Yeah,
Not doing this. Not the podcast.
Zoro!
Well...
What is happening? It's very long, so watch at your own pace. I think that the main... You can't watch because it's live.
Yeah, you can't watch it at your own pace.
You've got to watch it at 1 second.
I mean, there'll probably be a VOD up, so...
Yeah.
Watch it at your own pace.
That's the weirdest thing. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, who are watching live, watch this at your own pace, by the way.
Correct.
Yeah,
Fast forward. If you don't like this conversation, fast
forward past this. We'll talk about some
Time
good
dilation.
shit. We'll talk about good shit like 5 minutes ahead, so if you just fast forward. Yoshida says, I think that the main broadcast is definitely going to feel like the 5th anniversary stream. A lot of people are sending us... What?
Just the last one they did was really great, where they had like the full team there.
Yeah,
I really liked that.
I'm assuming
felt like a proper celebration.
But they'll also have those weird flowers in the background.
Oh god, the flowers, and they'll have like
looks like a funeral.
Loads of sponsors, like his Nvidia's flowers arrangement.
I don't know why it just reminds me of like a funeral or something. I'm just expecting to see the coffin like in the background. Everyone's just placing
inside.
Yeah,
it's Monica in the coffin.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ!
It's got like a viewing hall as well.
Jesus Christ! I'm just gonna brush past that. Yoshida answers, I think the main broadcast is definitely going to feel like a 5th anniversary stream. A lot of people are sending us their congratulations, so we'll fit those in. But in general, there's no formal setup, and it's really just a stream where us old guys mess around. So it'd be nice if you would watch it while playing 14 or even drinking during the day.
Let's drink next time during it. Let's all drink.
Can I just say that I'm not even remotely surprised that the person suggesting day drinking.
That's true.
I'm just like, I understand, I get it, man.
Yeah.
I think he just let slip a home truth.
Yeah.
Like if you go into his office, it's just he's passed out on his desk.
That's why he said it here, like, oh, this one day everyone's gonna be like me. Because everyone's day drinking. I do
become a wine mom, guys.
I do think we'll have one part that's more like a development panel. It'll focus a bit on how one of the settlements in the game was created. Oh, that's interesting.
Great for Japanese people.
Because of course this won't be in English. One of our young employees has put their all into a present, and there will also be a lot of screenshots. The content itself is also interesting, so I hope you'll check out this new style of development panel.
Hello.
I just love.
One
sometimes
of our young employees has put their all into a present.
Yes.
There'll also be lots of screenshots.
Stuff like that is like Yoshida's just like sometimes he just derails and just says something weird like that. Like what? I like that the reporter even like he even put a question mark after young. You can't even see it, but there's a question mark there. It's like he was sure if that was correct.
It
we're
makes
also
me feel
providing snacks for our employees while they're there. It's like, yeah, we didn't need to know that, man. That's not.
It makes me feel like we're talking to like an old man. He's talking about his grandkids.
Yeah.
How proud he is. Like,
Right, yeah, totally.
My grandkid made this new model. I got lots of screenshots on my phone. Look, here it is.
Oh.
Wait, I just
There'll be a
realized.
development panel, and then my
Become an
kids are
alcoholic.
calling.
Okay.
And I'm
Okay.
drinking.
Enough. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we're good on time. Right. Right after Gamescom comes Tokyo Game Show. Oh, that's where they'll be having
Yeah, that's what I
the
was thinking
stream.
of.
What are
TGS
14
Fridays?
Yeah, we're getting to that. What are Oh yeah. What are 14's plans for that? We don't plan on doing anything big for TGS, but we'll have our usual booth and battle challenge. Our 14-hour broadcast comes before TGS.
Cool.
So all our information is concentrated there, and we don't have anything new to reveal at TGS. If I had to describe our theme for TGS, it'd be playing 14 with the players.
Cool.
So it's not like a formal
That's
event.
nice.
Yeah.
They don't really do anything at TGS
No.
these days.
No.
Or at least not 14.
Yeah.
Bust out a few day drinks. Have a
Yeah.
couple
Yeah.
sips.
You can do loads of things. You could, I don't know, play games. You could drink during like the morning or the afternoon.
Like start drinking at like 4 a.m.,
Yeah.
5 a.m.
Don't
I'm gonna have a
sleep,
nice
and then you
Merlot
can
every live
keep
stream
drinking.
now.
Yeah. By the way, are you thirsty? I have a bottle.
Do you want a cigarette? I have a cigarette. Would you like a cigarette?
Dude, you want to start chain smoking with me?
Yeah. we have a young employee. Oh god. Okay, let's.
The chain smoke.
Let's start chain smoking. Come on.
Okay.
You like Papa Yoshida?
Okay, let's. Okay, last. Yeah, speaking of derailing, a message for the fans from Yoshida himself.
Ooh.
It's been 5 years since A Realm Reborn launched, but for us, it really felt like the blink of an eye. As Soken said, we focus on what's in front of us, one by one, with all our energy. So now it just feels like, oh, it's been 5 years. Nevertheless, it's because we have so many players supporting us and enjoying our game that we can afford to just run along with all along with all we've got. And even though our game released 5 years ago, we still get so many interview requests every time. We can accomplish this because of what we've built up over the 5 years instead of repeating the same thing over and over. And I want to keep doing that. I don't know if it'll be for another 5 years, 10 years, or what, but I want to make this a game that will be enjoyed by as many people as possible.
Well
That's a
said.
nice message to end on.
Well said, Yoshi-P. And speaking of interviews,
It's been
100%
84
right. Next FanFest,
Huh?
we'll go and we'll try and get an interview with him, right?
Yeah, for
Absolutely
sure.
not.
He does email interviews.
Hey guys.
Only person I'm going to interview is Tanaka. You know this.
I
We've been
only
through
want to
this.
Are you going to email him and say, "Where's Tanaka? Where are you hiding him?"
Excuse me,
Tell
Yoshi-P,
me.
could you tell me where Tanaka is? Can you direct me to Tanaka's email?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you have to send letter to. He doesn't use
Read-
email.
read
He doesn't work here.
He doesn't
anymore.
work
You have
here
to send
anymore.
a telegram.
He got fired.
Like, it gives
Here's
you an
his
address.
Here's his Morse code frequency. So you can
You
try
can
to.
contact him if you log into a game called Final Fantasy 11.
He's still there.
He's
He's
hiding
there.
by Yoshi-P.
Taru hiding in the side of Sandoria.
Is he still on 11, or was he taken off 11 eventually? I don't know what happened. Tanaka
He's
just
not working on it.
poofed.
No, he doesn't work there. He doesn't work at Square Enix anymore, I don't think.
Oh,
You
yeah,
don't
okay.
think, but we don't know. Where is Tanaka? That's a new
He's
game.
not on 11.
That's
He's
a
not
new,
on 11.
That's a new concept for this. That's a new show. Where's Tanaka? We
Where
do
is-
a new segment of the podcast. Where's Tanaka? And we try to find. Let's
We
start an
Photoshop him into
investigation.
pictures.
Send us your clues at speakersxiv.com/where is Tanaka.
What if someone
You gotta
sends us
make
like a
that now.
picture?
No, he doesn't, because we looked this up the other day, Luke. You remember he was working on some other games for a different studio.
What?
Oh yeah,
we
you're
looked this up
right.
we looked this up the other day.
But I don't feel like the Wikipedia was
Well,
updated.
He definitely doesn't work for Square Enix though.
Like
He
who
was
would
definitely
update
working for-
Tanaka's Wikipedia?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, sorry, I hovered. Okay, right. What are we talking about Tanaka for? What the fuck? Right.
It's your obsession, Lukiel.
Sorry, that's the only one I want to interview. Right. The Rising is coming up. It starts tomorrow on Sunday. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it's already started. Weird that it starts on Sunday and not on Monday, which is the actual
Right.
anniversary. But whatever. It's got I'm very excited for this year's The Rising because they're recreating the invasion of Ul'dah. Or
very original.
At least referencing it. Yes. Well, it's not a rumor. It's on the fucking art. Yeah. There's Malbros and Garleans running towards the Warrior of Light.
Yeah, it's most certainly
with Dalamud in the sky.
The data mining stuff is kind of confirmed.
Yeah. Okay. We don't know if it's. I don't know if it's a recreation or an echo or whatever it is. I mean,
there was people saying that there's going to be like an instance with a Eureka-sized instance where you go kill stuff in it for a while, and that's like insane. None of that is confirmed. So that's all.
I mean, that would blow my mind.
It literally says the calamity returns to Ul'dah.
It does, yeah. The artwork is amazing, and it's cool because this was not canon technically. Because it happened after the servers,
right.
After they started to save to servers. These were GMs just spawning mobs in Ul'dah because why not? And they've just taken that and made it lore, like they did with the Gabu Wall. I kind of like that. Yeah. It makes the event even more real. Like it's another actual
event. If you
event.
took part in it and you were thinking, "Oh, this is funny," and now 5 years later, so it was real.
Yeah, and all the people that have heard about this can experience it themselves. And now it's not even just because back then people didn't really know what was going on because there was no schedule or anything. Sometimes if you logged on, there was nothing happening. But now this is organized. This is lore. This is canon shit. So yeah, I very hyped. Also, since it is the 5-year anniversary, it might actually be if it is an instance Eurekan type of deal. It wouldn't be too crazy to think. I mean, it is a pretty big milestone, a 5-year anniversary for a game that was revived. You wouldn't expect. This game has had everything against it and still alive today. So they might want to celebrate it big time with a big event. And this is probably also the first time they've really, I think this is the first time they've actually taken 1.0 and referenced it properly in the Rising. In the Rising prior, they've just been, they've celebrated a Realm Reborn, kind of. Not so much 1.0.
And I think it's about the future.
Yes.
Right. And I think because they've referenced 1.0's story a lot. Many times, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's the first time that they've taken something that was only player driven. It actually was unrelated to the story, and it didn't even require 1.0 for that to happen. Right. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to do another hint about
that's what I was
here?
just thinking,
or at least like a little joke, like the blue and red mage thing?
They always do a poem.
You think so?
Always do a poem.
They always do. The Rising tends to be where they do that, especially when it's this is the last Rising event before we actually know what the expansion is. So it would be weird if they didn't.
They usually do it one which is kind of neither here nor there, and then an expansion hint. One which is neither here nor there, expansion hint. Yeah, they're really obvious ones.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention too from the interview. Do you remember the part where Yoshi-P specifically said that they talked about red herrings in the game about expansion hints, and so I'm just saying, dog. I was calling the red herring.
What if this red herring thing is something they came up with after they'd fucked up, Rollo? They're like, we need to plant some doubt. That
seems more likely.
I'd believe that.
That's a Square Enix solution, and it works because now we don't know. We're like, is this a double bluff or what is happening? Oh,
Twitch is dying on me. Rip. More fight to go. Woot woot. Have a great stream.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was so quiet.
That was
the most quiet
for you.
That was broken. Not to me though. It was very low though. So Discord just killed it.
Okay.
What was that?
Mine is confirmed, by the way. So.
Mine is 100% confirmed.
Mine is confirmed. Yeah.
So is he just saying about the blue mage in the files? He thinks
just a joke.
Is that what he's basically saying?
Didn't reference that explicitly.
He's implying it now, which he's never implied before. So it's I don't know. I feel like maybe the blue mage thing might have been a fuck up, or it was an intentional red herring.
No, because listen. Could you imagine after all this time if they teased blue mage and then didn't put it in the game after?
It's what I said in that episode when we discussed
it. Put a riot.
It's like that's just mean. Because
what if they fucked up and they just
that's
said
why it'll be
Azure Mage?
Because they removed. I don't know if you heard that. Yes, but they removed. I don't think you were here when we talked about it. They removed the blue mage thing from the files.
No, I didn't know
that. So that's why. But I feel like that was just because they knew they had fucked up. But why
Too early? Yeah.
But removing it makes it worse because now there's more focus on it.
And then he says this too.
And then he says red herring, which feels like he's covering his ass. This is like, red herring.
I think they fucked up.
Yeah, maybe.
It's going to be blue mage and dancer. We all know it.
I hope dancer.
No, it will be. It'll 100% be dancer.
Dancer healer and blue mage tank? Yes.
Correct.
No. It'll be blue mage
so
DPS.
Cool.
Blue mage DPS and dancer DPS.
They keep adding just DPS. I'm going to be really upset.
They can't do that.
We already know it's a healer and a tank.
Yeah,
I really hope it's 3, to be honest with you.
I could see them doing 3.
Doing 3 would be 9s. 9s.
They will not
it would be 9s.
God bless the ring.
Stop talking about her guys.
God bless the ring.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
Okay. Right. So, before we discuss the actual community outrage about the earrings and stuff, what do you think the story is going to be? There's a theme in this Rising event, which maybe those earrings have some, because we were seeing the invasion of Ul'dah, and suddenly you can get earrings tied to the white raven.
Let me just read to you what the website says about the quest. Okay. And I think it gives a huge hint about what it'll be.
Yeah, it's a reporter.
Doral Thural, renowned reporter for the Mithril Eye, seeks the assistance of able adventurers in penning what promises to be a splendid story.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not they're making it pure canon or whether he's saying he's making the story up, but I think it's going to be some sort of echo-related thing or like a theater troupe kind of rendition.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it could be a recreation or it could be an echo, and that the reporter is just writing down the events.
Yeah.
My brain immediately goes to the Louis Soir play.
Oh yeah,
from a couple of years back. That's where my brain goes to.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet, and I'm sure it's gonna be an echo flashback.
Yeah, for sure. I hope they have like a good. And
they just have this one static, non-animated Lalafell. Just
while Gobu just goes goes through him.
Or if we go back and we see that Judging Lalafell again, just in the corner somewhere.
Do you think there'll be any reference to the White Raven or the
no.
Oh yeah,
Hildebrand?
I think they're purely adding these two in just to annoy you.
We'll talk about it.
I can't imagine Hildebrand is involved.
Right.
I feel like that would take the seriousness out of the quest like big time.
I would nail
if all of a sudden Hildebrand like, I'm gonna fly to the moon. It's like I don't want to see that. It's gonna totally be.
Well, Nail was the legatus in charge of the invasion, so it makes sense. Nail
has to be there.
Yeah,
maybe it's like a Nail solo instance or something.
Oh god.
That'd be
Rollo,
awesome.
please don't get me too excited.
Don't.
Awesome.
You're overhyping it now, Rollo.
I know.
I don't think it'll be that good.
Yaz was just saying it's going to be like Eureka, but
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I was
that was down to earth.
Let's calm down. Okay. We need to gather our thoughts here. I can't really see a fight with Nail, although, a Eureka instance in Ul'dah 2 sounds absolutely absurd. But that is kind of what's being hinted at least an invasion of Ul'dah in some sense. I hope it's not just... Actually, that would be pretty cool if they did it into the open world Ul'dah like they did in-game. But they would just be fates, I would assume, but still.
Loads of level 1s just getting destroyed.
Yeah.
I think it probably will be fates. Most likely.
Yeah, that's the system. I mean, they don't have any other system for stuff like open world encounters.
Maybe
like
they
that.
just let the GMs run wild again. Wouldn't that be good?
That would be a real
cool.
throwback. But
That would be a 24-hour job for all those.
Yeah.
Games, though.
Yeah, they're all on 24-hour shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about these fucking items. You get the minion, by the way.
Oh yeah, Serena, what she's called?
I can never remember her name.
Oh, Serena.
Serena.
Booze.
I don't know why.
She's cute.
That seems completely random and unrelated, but
Yeah,
You
but
would
she's
say
cute.
You would say that.
Sure, I guess.
You also
it's a
get
nice
the
minion.
Revolution orchestrion role.
Yeah, you also get
which
that.
is again that's a big item to give out for free. Actually,
That's a good.
because answers is a difficult one to get.
Isn't that tied to an achievement?
Yeah, we got other versions of answers though.
Oh,
I don't know, but still, come on.
So they also announced that 2 earrings will be purchasable during this event, and it's a bit controversial because for some reason they've decided to drag out the Hildebrand, the Manderville earrings, which are literally like brass earrings
just
dyed
hoops.
red.
So ugly.
I'm sure. Can you? Yeah, you can't dye those earrings, so they are unique, I guess, but still. And the white ravens earrings.
Again, they're pretty boring looking.
Yes, they are boring.
What
Which is
like
why
most-
that's my biggest gripe with this, is why those things, if you're gonna
Right.
bring out legacy items, why would you bring out these things?
I actually expected them to change them. Like I thought,
But
I
these
didn't
are
think
the actual items.
Yeah, these are just literally like they
item
listed the
level
code.
90 and 20. That's what I
Yeah.
love about them.
Right.
They have the stat. They are the 1.0 items.
Yeah.
So these are not
I really
copies or replicas.
I really assumed that there would be something to differentiate the two.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care either way,
Mhm.
but I definitely expected them to be either to get like a facelift, for them to be like, oh, here's this earring that clearly has like a nail motif or something, you
Yeah.
know, and not just.
I would have thought they would have just made anniversary earrings to commemorate the anniversary.
Right.
Instead of bringing these old, dusty, very unimpressive earrings, like the Manderville ones are just a joke. They're red, just red brass earrings. They're nothing.
But they have sentimental value.
And that's the problem.
Yeah,
And that's
to
why
the people who played the game and probably have them.
That's the problem. And I am going to defend, although I've said this before, that I'm always torn on this, but in this instance, I don't really, I guess I'm a bit on the fence because I don't really know how to feel about it. But because there's a couple of things that don't make sense. They're bringing back the earrings that to non-legacy players are just earrings. They're just ugly small earrings. But to 1.0 players, these were the last items, among the last items you got in game. They're literally the end of the main scenario and the end of Hildebrand. They're sort of distorting that a little bit by now handing them out during a random event for no reason. Like, it has no connection. Like, I'm pretty sure the Manderville earrings will have no relation to what's going on with the Rising event. And
didn't they release meteor earrings? I think you can buy them on the Mug Station.
The moonlit earrings, from the Dollar Mood event.
Like a meteor one then, couldn't we? We could have like a recolor.
Yeah.
For the anniversary.
Yeah, but that was also a 1.0 item, by the way, from the what was it? It was the first event that acknowledged Dalamud, when Dalamud was starting to affect the nature and all that. But I don't understand why. Like, why would they, if they're gonna take legacy items, why would they take these things?
Yeah, just give us the chocobo.
Yeah, if you want, just hand it over. Just rip the band-aid off, because it doesn't matter, apparently. I'm waiting for them to just give the Dalamud horn away, and I think people are just going to explode. But the thing is, and I think I think that's the problem, because I think this is, I think that's the main thing here. They're just waiting, and the community will just keep growing and the legacy players will just shrink in comparison to the big population that never played 1.0, and they will deafen the legacy players.
So I have a very different view of that. And I think it really shows back to how different the mentality of modern day MMO players are versus a Final Fantasy 11 years MMO, right? Mm-hmm. Because people in Final Fantasy 11 and 1.0 worked for something, they kept it, they never got rid of it, they hugged and cherished it forever, right?
Yeah.
But MMOs don't care about that anymore. You beat the hardest raid in the game, yeah, you get good gear. Hell yeah, you get this sweet, awesome piece of glamour and actual usable gear that no one can use. 4 months later, anybody can undersize it and steamroll through it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just a difference in age, because I personally don't care at all if they put old stuff in. It's like it's 8 years old. It's at that point where it just doesn't matter anymore. It should be easy to get by now.
See, I would have agreed if 14 had run continuously, and this was an event item from 2010. But 14 is unique because something happened. The game crashed. People hated it. But a small portion of players stood by, paid for the game to run while they made a new one. And their promise was that certain items, like, I don't know if... see, that's the thing. This might not have been part of that promise. But they promised that most of the stuff that we got would remain unique to us. Didn't happen now, because now it's just like, oh, it's so long ago. Yeah, but what the fuck? It's not like when someone does a good thing, like say someone wins a medal and they're like, oh no, it's been 20 years, time to take that back. It's your old hat now. I'll give this to everyone now. Everyone gets a medal. Like it's a little weird, but it's also very Square Enix. So I'm not surprised, and I'm waiting for the Legacy Chocobo to be handed out, and the tattoo. And the horn and the Gabu with the carpet. Sure, just hand it over. I don't really care anymore. I gave up when I realized it when they gave away the Moonlit earrings, that okay, they've started opening the valve and there's not really much we can do about it. I'm sure most people will be on Rollo and Yas's side because you are the majority. I'm just a silent minority, but I try. I stick my head out there, but I get laughed at for wanting some exclusive chocobo. That's just Lukiel things. Hashtag Lukiel things. Anyways, that's the end of the episode. No, we have to draw minimum eye level. There's only two.
No time for Mogmail, sorry.
Sorry, no Mogmail.
We can maybe do it tomorrow or something like that. We should do it next week.
Mogmail? Tomorrow? Why would we do Mogmail tomorrow? What the fuck?
Yeah, people might want that thing read.
So it's either going to be Cutter's... it's either going to be...
There's only like 2 things in there now?
There's only Cutter's Cry and St. Mokian's Arboretum.
Oh, well, it'll be St. Mokian.
Belsar's Wall not in there. I was betting it the entire time. He's never added.
Yeah, I'm going to guess Belsar's Wall anyways.
Yeah, you know what? That's me in defiance of today's stance of legacy items.
I'm just the tiny minority, the poor players that get cheated out of their only thing in life, only thing they value in life.
I got cheated out. I'm the one who got cheated out. I played 1.0 for way longer than 3 months, and I don't have a $9.99
You didn't
sub.
play. You didn't play enough. You didn't play as long as I did. Yes, you didn't play as long as I did.
I just didn't pay for it. That's all.
Didn't play as long as us.
I didn't get to spend my
the true 14 players.
I have 6 jobs, Lukiel. How am I supposed to pay for 1.0?
Well, I actually have 140 children.
I'm just constantly donating sperm. I don't have time.
Okay.
I gotta make money somehow.
We're going to Cutter's Cry! My favorite dungeon, legacy dungeon.
It should be exclusive.
It should be exclusive, but fuck, we're the silent minority and we got cheated out.
I can't believe they dropped the Coliseum Guru.
I cannot believe that. That should have been legacy only, but just the silent minority.
Not silent minority.
I'm the screaming minority. I'm just the loud minority. But still the minority. Thank you for watching this episode of Speakers of Eidolon. Remember to follow us on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfEidolon, !, Discord and chat if you want to join our Discord server. do the shout.
Send us mogmail.
speakersxiv.com/mogmail. Remember, legacy players are superior to anyone else, even if you give away our earrings.
Okay, watch first time only.
If you're
see
watching
them in the street, murder them for their subs.
If you're watching
Time
live,
for an uprising.
If you're watching live, remember that you
Don't let the 1%ers get you down.
Remember that.
Is
Okay. Remember that if you're watching live, Gillionaire will follow this episode, so do stay tuned for that. If not, we'll see you next week or tomorrow at 6 p.m. GMT, 11 a.m. PDT for minimum mile.
Whoa, the wheel of doom.
Oh my god, everything sucks because I'm the delicate legacy minority. Let me get the wheel up. Okay, let's spin it, guys.
If you see a 1.0 player in the street, you can legally kill them and take their sub.
Correct. That is legal.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Make sure that part's in the video. It's kind of scribe, but
yeah. I mean, we don't have that many OGCDs at least at that point.
Well, are you there? You're a little quiet.
Oh my god, that was
yeah, that was really loud for me too.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! I thought I died. I fell off my chair. I had to get back up. Oh my god! What the fuck was that? Oh, fuck.
That was loud.
It wasn't even set to anything. What the fuck? What's up with the volume today? Oh my god! I'm so so shook. Okay. There. Let's try to get. Okay.
Collect yourself. It's okay.
I need to. Whew, got the vapors. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. That's nice. No OGCDs. That's funny. That's funny. Fun.
Yeah.
Fun. Okay, thank you for watching. This doesn't feel like a real episode anymore. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in a bit for Gillionaire if you're watching live. Bye.
I'm gonna lose.